Alright guys, thank you for joining my channel today, the Clydesdale Rider. I thought I would do a little introduction about myself and what my plans are for this channel, and hopefully you guys can give me some comments and some feedback on what you guys would like to see. But basically I named this channel the Clydesdale Rider because if you're not familiar with the Clydesdale Rider, it's somebody that's 200 or 250 pounds and higher that likes to ride. You know, whether you're tall or wide, you're considered a Clydesdale Rider. Typically, Clydesdale Riders break stuff a lot, so this should be an interesting channel. I've already broken quite a few things in my past riding, and I hadn't seen a whole lot of Clydesdale riding channels. There's a few out there, but I figured I would add to the bunch, so hopefully you guys enjoy it. So I want to tell you a little about myself. My name's Anthony. I am in Missoula, Montana, so I've been doing the majority of my riding lately here. This summer I'm going to do a little bit of driving and venturing out to Washington, hopefully Moab, doing some of the ski slopes here. So I should have some pretty good, footage of some of the Montana trails. There's not a whole lot out there from what I could see on YouTube. So I moved here from Arizona a few years back. That's where most of my riding came into place. Actually, I should rewind it a little further than that. When I was younger, back in my early teens, I did a lot of mountain bike riding with my uncle back in New York and Pennsylvania, which is where I'm originally from. So that kind of got me into the, whole mountain bike scene. I remember going out to my uncle's house, and he has this brand new mountain bike. It was a Trek, I think like an 870. It was purple and silver, and his wife was like, she's gonna break his neck and all that stuff. So I went out to visit him, borrowed one of his friend's bike, very first time out, broke the chain on it, but fell in love with it ever since. Once I got my driver's license and started to grow up a little bit, I stopped biking. Eventually I moved to Arizona and started picking up biking again. Was up in Flagstaff, Arizona, went to work up there and meet some new people, and my buddy that I was working with, his name is Kirk. He one day was just like, yeah, I'm going for a bike ride after work, and the light bulb went off, and I was like, oh, this sounds great. At that time I was around 300 pounds, so I knew it was going to be a struggle. And that first day we went out, we did this huge climb, and my butt hurt so bad. I was on his old Trek mountain bike, and I remember we got to the top of this climb. It took us about 45 minutes. wasn't very long, but pretty steep. And I remember him saying to me that he could make it to the end of the trail in 45 minutes, joking around, and I was like, there's no way. And sure enough, by the end of that summer, that hill I was going up every 10-15 minutes, and even the end of the trail wasn't the end of the line for us by the time we got through it. So that got me back into mountain biking, and I've had all sorts of issues with bikes breaking and all that stuff, because I'm a bigger rider. So we went through a little bit of a process to get my bike, dialed in for that, which was a little frustrating. So those are some things I think you can expect as, Clydesdale riders, when you're picking your bike and you're getting your first time back on the saddle. It's going to be a little challenging to find that, but just keep going through and keep pounding through it. I think it's a great experience for somebody that wants to do it. So that's some of my experience with riding. A few years ago, I had moved to Montana, and I broke my knee skiing, tore my ACL, my MCL, PCL, fractured my tibia, so I couldn't ride.
Well, this sucks. I hurt my knee. Don't know what's wrong with it, but it's not good. So, yeah, this goes. Two people came. They're going to go get ski patrol. But, yeah, I think it, popped. I don't know. It sucks, though.
At the time, I was shopping for a new bike, so I was really bummed that I didn't get to buy a new bike at that time. Once, a couple years later, about a year and a half later, it took me to get going again. I ended up getting a new bike, which is my Stache full here, and now I'm back on the saddle again. And I'm going to take you through my journey, basically back, from the beginning, because I haven't ridden in 2 years. This is a great place to ride, lots of trails, lots of climbing, with some really fast, downhills. So you'll be able to share my experience with me, as I get back on the saddle. Right now, I am at 277 pounds as of today, so I'm hoping to bring that down, and you guys could, have that journey with me. I had been on keto for a little while because I did get back up to that 300-pound mark. So I brought myself back down, before I got into riding again. So I might go back on that, I might not. Maybe I'll show you guys some of my, food that I make and, whatever you guys want. So give me your feedback and let me know what you think. I would say for a new rider, if you're a Clydesdale rider, there's a couple points that I would like to tell you, because I don't want you to get on your bike and then hate it and get off. I just told you about my experience after not riding, and my butt hurt so bad. I would say one of the first things that you should do after you pick out your bike and figure out what you're going to do is get a seat. I get a lot of crap from some of my friends sometimes about the seat that I use. I have a Bontrager SSR seat. It's a little bit wider than most. I like that seat. The seat that came on my bike originally, or even this bike over here, killed me. It was horrible. They're not really designed for larger bums like myself. So get a seat that you like. I personally don't like the really cushy ones. I have friends that run really cushy seats, but that's going to really make or break, I feel, your riding experience. The second thing is to just stick with it. I think that a lot of people that start biking, at least in my experience, I'll take friends out and stuff, and they're like, yes, that sounds awesome, this sounds really fun. And then they'll come out with me and they'll go on one ride and they're dying, and their body hurts and their butt hurts and their arms hurt and their wrist hurts, and then they never want to do it again. I'm telling you right now, if you haven't been on the saddle for a while, you're gonna have that. You just need to push through it. It will get better. I promise you, it will get better. The more you ride, the easier it becomes, the less strain it becomes on your body. I can do, I'd say I could do probably a 20-mile mountain bike ride right now. That's, maybe intermediate level, and kind of be okay depending on the climbing and the downhill. Back when I first started, it was that, first mile, and my legs were killing me, my butt was killing me. So just stick with it. The other thing that I think is important is, try to ride as many bikes as you can before you make your purchasing decision. I'm partial to Trek in general. I've had very, very positive experience with Trek, very positive experience with their dealers. When I got my first bike a few years ago, I got it from Single Track Bikes in Flagstaff, Arizona. Those guys up there, absolutely amazing people. I was just getting back on the saddle and breaking stuff right and left. I think every ride I went in there every time I went in there after a ride, I had broken something. So those guys really helped me out and dialed me into, the bike and the components that I needed. And Trek was amazing to help me along the way with that. So I think it's really important to, ride some bikes, check out some bikes, find a dealer that you like, find a brand that you like. I've ridden Specialized, I've ridden Konas. Anytime that there's a demo, in my area, I go out and ride them just for fun, just to try the bike and see if I like the bike. I did like a couple other brands at one point, and I was really hemming and hawing, going back and forth. But I had such a positive experience with Trek that I went back to Trek on my next bike. So we'll see what happens, in the future. For right now, I'm pretty partial to Trek. My girlfriend, on the other hand, she rides with me. I'm sure you'll see her in some videos. Little short Asian girl, and she rides a Specialized, which she also loves. Started out on a Trek, now she has a Specialized. So everybody likes their stuff, a little different, and I think that as a Clydesdale rider, go out there and ride the stuff. Some bikes are going to be beefier than others. Do a little bit of research on your wheel set and your free hub and your components and stuff like that, because those are the things that you're going to typically break. You're probably not going to break a frame. I mean, you might. It's definitely possible, knock on wood. But it's usually that rear wheel, that whole assembly, chain rings, that kind of stuff is what we go through, as larger riders. So that's a little bit about me. I hope that you enjoy this channel. Please feel free to subscribe and like the channel, and put some comments in. Let me know what you guys want to hear and what you guys want to see. I plan on doing these rides. I'm going to hopefully go through some upgrades with you guys, some tutorials on how to do some of these things on your own. I'm going to do as much as I can on my own to kind of show you guys as well. So hopefully you guys get on the saddle and get out there and enjoy your ride.